Well, hey there, it's Elke.
And Jen, and we are here for another video for a part of our Jen and Elke show. Today is our live tutorial on how to start a full-time print-on-demand business in 2025. And we will be going through like a complete walkthrough showing you how to open up another store or a new store, and also go through the design tool and give you some tips and advice on how to use the design tool and what it means to post a product for sale. And then also diving into just looking at the platform on Zazzle, understanding what types of products are being sold on the platform, the opportunities that you might have, and also looking into some niches or niches on the Zazzle marketplace to give you an idea of where you could potentially start selling online. And this video is for anybody who is looking to start a print-on-demand business in 2025, specifically where we're going to be talking about the Zazzle platform. And if you have been on Zazzle already, then we would love to have some interaction in the chat. This is a live video, so you can ask us any questions, whether you're watching on Facebook or on YouTube, and or any other platform, you might be finding us. And we want to get to know who you are. And then at the end of this video / tutorial, we'll be giving you some information on what you can do next in terms of up-leveling your Zazzle journey to success. We are offering an amazing opportunity for you to join our Profit by Design Academy coaching program. We've updated the price. We have given you a humongous discount, and we are going to also offer you a live bonus, which we're really excited to announce as well. So stick with us until the end. And so if you are on Zazzle, then type in the comments, yes, I'm a Zazzle designer. And if you are a complete new beginner, then type that as well too, because we have had in the last couple of weeks, actually, a lot of an influx of new people who have just decided that they want to start working on the Zazzle platform. And this video is for you, because if you don't know what like the back end of Zazzle is, then we're going to be going through and talking to you about how to set up certain things on Zazzle. Okay. Now I'm going to dive right in to go onto the Zazzle platform. We're going to share my screen and we're going to get going. Okay. All right. And for anyone who's on Zazzle, and this is the print-on-demand platform, Zazzle.com, we highly recommend that no matter where in the world you live, that you sign into the .com website, being the American website here, because even if, for example, I personally and Elke, we live in Canada, but we don't like post products for sale on the Canadian website, just because we want to make like our products be seen first and foremost on the American website. Of course, Zazzle then translates our products on the American website and actually posts them for sale with the respective translations of all the other languages on the other platforms here. So like Belgium, Germany, Brazil, all those things. But we recommend that you post on the American website, just because predominantly the majority of the customers that come onto Zazzle are from the States, and it just kind of works with the algorithm. So we like to say to everyone, post on the Zazzle.com website rather than being in your own home country if you live in a different country other than the US, okay? And in this tutorial, I'm not going to show you how to open up an account, but I've already logged in, but for the purposes of, I'm just going to open up let's say another incognito window just really quickly to show you what it would look like if you were to, or maybe I can't share that. Either way, if you were to be logged out, let's just go to Zazzle.com or .ca, because I'm not logged into that, Zazzle.com/ca. Here we go. So here, for example, you would go on to Zazzle and you could say sell on Zazzle if you're not logged in right away, right? And this gives you an idea on what the whole platform is, right? You can you're an artist, a graphic designer, a photographer, or you don't need to be a creative person at all, but you can upload your own artwork or use the design tool as is, which I'll be showing you in a minute when we go into the design tool when we post a first product for sale. But you can join as a creator, and it's completely free. And you can click that button here, and get started, okay, for getting signing in. And there's a lot of buttons that say get started and obviously like that, but you can just keep on going, or you can go to just the login or sign in button, and then it'll ask you to create an account if you don't have one, right? And then here, when we're creating our own account or signing in, if you wanted to sell on Zazzle, then you would just go through the steps here. Enter in your own email address to get started. Obviously, you need a working email, and here, a working email. I sure was sharing my screen before, but I obviously didn't get to show you guys that. Sorry, I forgot to switch my tab here. So if you were to go onto Zazzle.com without being signed in, then you can say sell on Zazzle. There is a button that said sell right here. And then you would click that, and then you can go down here, join as a creator. You're going through a couple clicks here for whatever reason, but you're able to get started finally, open up a free account, create a design, post your design for sale, and start making money. So get started. And then here's where you would put in a working email address, and then obviously put in a password, and then create your account. Once your account is then verified, because you're going to be sent an email to your inbox, then you'll be able to log in, which would then allow you to see somewhat of a back end like this, where you would, we've uploaded our own profile picture previously, but you'll have a little icon here, and then you'll be able to see my account and all of these things on the menu bar. All right. And so once you've done that, because we don't want to open up an account, another one and another one here online, we have actually multiple accounts where we've done this. So it's quite easy. It's step by step. It's not very hard. But the next part, where people need to open up their store, is something that I want to get a little bit of the confusion out of it, and also give you an understanding what the difference between your profile is and your store. Because you can actually start with creating products without having a store, if that makes sense, because you personally could see the pull down menu. Yes, we're supposed to be here. You're going to see my account here, my orders, saved designs, my images. So you can actually start creating products without having a store, because people can create an account on Zazzle and you can make your own products to purchase for yourself. You don't actually need to sell them, okay? And so you are able to start designing certain things. Like you can literally open up a product type and start designing, and then all of a sudden you're not able to post it for sale anywhere because you don't have a store already. And this is something that people have come across quite often, where they think that now that they've created an account, they can just all of a sudden start posting products for sale. But unfortunately, you have to create a store first. So in this drop-down menu here, when you have your account open, you'll be able to click on this button that says My Stores. We already have a store that's here, but if you did not have a store yet, you would see this button here that says Open Up a New Store, and it would be right here, just at this point in time, like right here where this store is, okay? And so you would open up your first store, and the process of doing that is the exact same as if you're opening up another store, which we can do here. And so you would click on Open Up a New Store, and you're able then to put in your store name here. And this is very important to do before you start posting products for sale, because you want to have the opportunity to actually post your product for sale inside a store, right? And the research that we usually tell people to do first before they open up a store is actually think about what niche and area they want to get into on the Zazzle marketplace before they actually open up a store and create a URL account. Because once you put in a store name here and then you say create store, this store name will stick with you forever with the URL. You can always change your store name on the home page of your store, but the URL will always stay the same, okay? And so if, for example, you open up a store and it has a specific name that is associated with something, for example, like a very niched down area, let's say all of a sudden we want to start posting all products related to golf. And I start and I say, golf for you, and I want that to be my store name. It's available, but then if all of a sudden I want to create other items beyond the range of golf products, and I've created the store and I've built it up already, and then I want to actually change my store name, I can do that, but the URL will still be zazzle.com/store/golf for you. Okay. And so in order for you to figure out kind of what you want to first start selling on Zazzle, we like to give you some ideas on how to do the research. And we recommend that you actually are logged out in order to do this. So we can go back to and like you can log out of your account, but I'm going to stay logged in just because I'm going to be going back and forth between my account and the back end. But you can see on even on the homepage right now, depending on the time of year, obviously Zazzle has certain products that are showcased in certain niches. Right now we're in the wedding season and also the graduation season. And so you can see that these two things have been posted on the homepage just to showcase them because that's what Zazzle's doing for their marketing. However, you can go in and you can say, shop by category, and then you can see all of these different categories here. And also, when you scroll down, you can also see, like right now, because I'm logged in, you can see that the reason why we say log out is because we see all of my saved designs and what's recommended for you based on my search results. So this really doesn't help me out because this is actually my own personal stuff that I've done. But if you're logged out, you can scroll all the way down here, and underneath here will be more categories and more niches for you to explore. All right. And then you can also go into like what's trending, the gifts as well as an opportunity for you to see different product types. But we want to go into not the create your own, just even the shop by category here and say shop all categories. And here, this is a really great opportunity. So this URL is called zazzle.com/shop. And then you're able to see all of the different things based on gift, like not gift related items. Sorry, I read the word gift, but like product related items, but then also niche related items. So we have wedding invitations, birthdays, baby showers, and we have bridal shower. Okay. Then we have wedding stationery, wedding decor. Then there's business and office and school. Then we have gift wrap and party supplies, sports, toys, and games. Then we have clothing and t-shirts and apparel. Then there's home decor, art and wall decor, electronics, accessories, baby and kids, and create your own. And so here you can get an idea of sort of certain niches that you can get into. Although, for example, it doesn't say, the word golf or baseball here as like a topic, but it gives you an idea of where you can sort of hone in on, okay, I'd like to do home decor. And underneath home decor, now I have all of these different opportunities. Then underneath home decor, are you going to be more vintage style? Are you going to be more abstract style? Are you going to be more rustic style? Right. And so understanding where you want to go into the Zazzle marketplace and where you would like to start posting products for sale. That being said, of course, you can expand your niches. So, for example, if I decide to go into the wedding market, which we always talk about, but it's one that's very predominant on the Zazzle marketplace, and it's easy for people to understand because they have it laid out and they have all of the different product types associated with it. If I wanted to get into wedding, then I would obviously start posting products for sale with wedding invitations, save the dates, wedding announcements, all of those things. Then I can go into bridal shower and baby shower. And potentially, because if I follow, like, let's say the timeline of somebody who's getting married, I can follow the timeline and say, okay, well, during Christmas time, they might have their first Christmas or they might be moving house. Oh, geez, sharing my screen. I'm so sorry. I yes. I thank you for reminding me. I was on the other screen. So shop now, cards and invitations, gifts. Okay, so zazzle.com/shop. I have to get used to this. I keep forgetting that I have to literally share the screen of the different tab that I'm on. So you can go to zazzle.com/shop and then search for all of these different items here. And Zazzle really outlines some of the main niches that are available to you. And what's really nice is that on this landing page, Zazzle.com /shop, like I said, is that, for example, if we wanted to get into a certain niche, like for example, business supplies, they have all of the product types that are laid out for you that are within that specific niche. And like I mentioned too, let's say we want to get into the wedding stationery niche. Going forward, we're able to then create these products and know that these products should be our first priority to put in our store. But then after that, if we wanted to dabble into, let's say, occasions for newlyweds, so Christmas for newlyweds, maybe they're having a baby, or maybe like getting into the bridal shower niche, bachelorette niche, the bachelor niche. All of those things can be associated with wedding because it's part of that specific timeline. So going on to Zazzle.com/shop and doing some research and figuring out where you fit in all of this. Like what's first of all, what's your design style as a designer and as a seller, and how can you create certain products within a niche based on your specific design style. Obviously, Zazzle uses certain thumbnails to promote certain products because that's what might be either trending right now, or they've just chosen these designs to showcase. So you don't have to have designs that are like this in order to sell within the cards and invitations niche, right? You don't have to have birthday invitations that look like this. You can have birthday invitations that look like something different based on your own design style. So this is the initial research that you want to do first before you even open up your store, because you want to have an idea of what type of products you're going to be selling in your store. And that allows you to then create your store name so that it fits on brand with what you're selling. And like I mentioned at the beginning, when I went into create the store, if I created my store name as golf designs or something very specific to a specific type of product, then you might feel worried that later on, if you wanted to get into another sub niche, let's say weddings and stationery or something like that, that your store name actually doesn't associate with your products very much anymore. So you want to make sure that you are choosing a name that is either on brand with what you're going to sell in your store, or a generic name, like a name that really, it doesn't mean very much, but it sounds very cool, in terms of, it's a brand like, what's another one that I want to showcase? Well, like the Pottery Barn or something like that. There's a whole bunch of names on Zazzle that are a little bit more just like they sound couture and like home decor places, but then they're able to all have all encompassing designs underneath their shop. Another way that you could go is that if you are a designer and or like artist yourself, you can have your store name be associated with your own name. For example, Jennifer Clarke Designs. And that will allow you to have a wide range of different product types and styles and like sub niches in your store, because it's underneath your name and you are the house designer. Okay. So I'm going to go back now to my account, and we're going to then just go to create a new store. And like I mentioned here, we're going to try and find a store name that fits with what we want to sell, and also is something that is easily spelled, for your own purposes and also for other people's purposes. If they want to go and find your name or store, right, it's Zazzle.com/store/whatever you put in here. And you want to have it be not very complicated. Okay. So for example, let's say, what do we want to call our store here? Pretty.
Pretty prints.
Pretty prints.
Let's see what happens. Yeah, and you can see that as you type, it'll tell you whether it's available or not. But you can then, even if you do that, and then you realize, oh, I'd like to still use pretty prints, then you can say studio or art like hub or something, and then there we go. It turned available.
Pretty Print Studio. Perfect. So then I'm not a robot.
There we go. That's how easy it is.
Yeah. And then see, this is now the default page that you get sent to, which is the settings page. You don't want to make this store private. Some people actually have asked me if they should do that before they have their store looking all good and completely finished. And I told them no, because even though you're working on your store and maybe you don't have your banner set up yet or even your logo, you're able to post products for sale and you can still sell those products without your store being 100% completed. So this is where you will then, you can see that we've got Pretty Print Studio, and unfortunately on this screen share, you can't see my URL, but my URL is now zazzle.com/store/prettyprintsstudio. And that will be my URL forever, no matter what, if I decide to change my name to something completely different. And changing my name to something completely different, so let's just say Jen Clarke Designs here, and then I click save here at the bottom, submit. Then we go back to my store, where I go back here to my stores. It now has changed the name to Jen Clarke Designs, but my URL is still Pretty Prints Studio. Okay. And so you're able to change that. I'm going to put it back here. So Pretty Prints. And then I want to say too,
Yes,
that
you can change it to make it look proper. Yeah.
yeah, here, because your URL is all together and I have, two S's together, it looked really weird. Here, I'm going to update it because this store name now changes the name on what the storefront will look like. And so you want to keep that. I don't know why it's now taking me back to, I just wanted to submit and then go back here in my settings. So here you can change the store name and then it looks pretty nice. And then you can always switch back and toggle back and forth to your home page, which is the public view front, to the store management front. So right now, this is what my public storefront looks like. Obviously, it's got this generic banner and this generic logo. I do have my profile picture because it's associated with our account, but it needs some cleaning up, obviously. So I'm going to go back to return to store management. Your home page is the default, where it will tell you about your store completion and all of the, the things that are updates here. I'm going to go back to settings because this is the most important thing at the beginning, where you want to add a tagline of something. So we can say pretty prints for all occasions. And then when I update that, it'll be a tagline that appears on my public storefront underneath my store name. This is where you should be telling your story or about your store. We tell our clients to put in as much information as they can to describe what will be in the store, but don't do too much information in terms of the 2,000 characters, because when you do that, then you're being asked to click the more button, and then the more button takes you actually to your about page. So we want maybe 2 or 3 sentences that are quick and concise and also very descriptive. And then we also ask people if they want to put in their email for any sort of custom work that can be done. I know that Zazzle now offers the opportunity to message the designer a lot easier on the product pages, but we still like to tell everyone that they should put some form of contact information there, whether that be an email or an Instagram or something like that. Okay, and so you'll fill this out with the description, as I said, 2 to 3 sentences where it describes what types of products are in your store and the aesthetic of your store as well. This is where your store banner will come into, and let's just see store banner. I want to get the dimensions here. It's interesting because the store banners sometimes show up blurry for whatever reason on Zazzle, but the size for the store banner is 2,280, so 2,280 by 630 pixels. Okay, and that will allow you can easily do that in Canva. Create a banner, and the banner can be either just something generic right now, because if you don't have any products, then you can even just take some sort of copyright free photo, like stock photography photo, and put it up there. Once you start posting products for sale, you can grab some of your product screenshots as a quick and easy banner as well, and put some of your product images in your banner to showcase what you have in your store. But at the beginning, since you don't have any content yet, you can easily just grab a stock photography photo that resonates with the style of your store and put that up as your store banner to start with. Okay. Then the next thing is that if you have a website, many people don't, but you might want to put in either your Pinterest website or even your Instagram account website. And then tags here mean that anything to do with SEO, and you'll get to know a lot more about this when you are on the Zazzle platform, understanding how to post products for sale, because your tags are very important with associating yourself with search engines on the Zazzle platform. So for example, right now it's automatically added Pretty Print Studio, but that really doesn't mean anything to anyone. And so for example, if I'm going to be putting in invitations maybe, or wedding invitations even, let's say, then if you want to have, so for example, if I put in those two tags, it's going to be separate because I put two words in at once, right? But if I wanted to have this be one tag, invitations, I'm going to put it in with quotation marks and it becomes one tag. And I actually don't know how many tags. They usually give you an amount. It's usually 5 tags. But here you would put in anything to do with the aesthetic of your store, the style. So let's say maybe it's minimalistic. And maybe we have modern. And then let's say like, I don't know, like chic boho. Okay. So whatever it is to describe the product types and also the style of your store, you want to add those tags so that your store can be associated with that based on the SEO. You don't need to put in your city or your location if you don't want to. It is kind of fun to do so though, because then you can see where people are from all around the world. All right. And so if we go then up, we want to submit this all the time because it doesn't update automatically. So make sure you're always submitting that. And as I said, I don't know why it's taking me always back to the main store here, but we want to then make sure that you understand too that you can add your logo. So this is where you would create a logo, possibly in Canva, that maybe had something to do with your store, right? Or the name of your store. So Pretty Print Studio, maybe I would write Pretty Print Studio in a really nice script font and I would have it in a logo. Maybe I would have PPS in as like a monogram for the Pretty Print Studio and have that as a picture as well. Okay. And then that's what's in the settings here on the store information. Then we're going to go into the media here. You can upload any pictures or videos that celebrate your brand. This will be where you are in the public storefront. It'll showcase actually down here underneath the profile picture with media that's associated with your store. All right. And then your social media network. So this is where you can add any of your social media, right? So Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook, all those things. I would highly recommend that you do that because then on your about page, you have all of these links associated with your store so people can find you also externally outside of Zazzle. This is where your notifications are. So this is obviously up to your own preferences, right? In terms of when you get emailed and when you see products published, all of those things, you'll receive an email in your store, okay? Or in your account for those things. Oh, notifications, advanced settings now. So advanced settings is an interesting one, and this will be a lot more easier once you start creating content in your store. But this is what your store homepage will look like in terms of what's showcased on your store. So for example, and it's really easy because you can just say X, X here, and you can, it's like a drag and drop menu. So if we want the visible sections, this will be what's showcasing on your store. So underneath your home banner, when you scroll down, you'll see certain sections. And so let's say I wanted to have my categories shown first, or I wanted to have a featured collection, or I wanted to have all my products. So you can play around and you can actually drag and drop. So it's really user friendly in terms of how you can create what your store homepage looks like. And then here, this is a little bit more advanced, but this is tracking and analytics. You can add in your Google Analytics ID if you wanted to. And then this here is my account, and then it goes back and it shows everything that is in your account here, okay? And then obviously this is a default, or sorry, like a sample store of ours. So we actually have some money in there, which is quite fun. So this isn't one of our stores that Elke and I usually use. It's just for training purposes. And so here you'll be able to see your balance and see your earnings. The one thing that I want to say to everyone though is that you have to set your payment settings, okay? And this is something that we can't particularly help you here online because everyone is living in a different country. You have different rules and regulations with tax treaties, all those things. And so based on which country you live in, you have to obviously fill out certain forms, but you can get paid by PayPal and also or get paid by check in the mail. But you do need to obviously submit your tax information so that you can have that on file with Zazzle. If you don't submit your tax information, then you are, like, for example, we have not here, so we can't pay you until your settings are incomplete, but you can still see that when we go into our earnings summary, we have money in here. So that money is going to stay in there until we update our settings, right? So for example, this money we maybe made, years ago or months ago, Zazzle won't take that money away from you. There's no penalty to that you haven't filled out your information. You're just pretty much like you're making money, but you're not actually making money on paper yet. So depending on when you're able to fill out that tax information and when that goes through. The payout for Zazzle is that you have to at least earn $100 for you to be paid out by check or by PayPal. So even if we filled out our information, for example, because we only have $42 in our account, that money will stay in there until we make more money equaling $100. Okay. So that's the store setup let's go back here for the settings. Then we want to go back now to the home page. So this here, for example, we public storefront, but this is your home. The home is where you're going to get updates and news for anything that's regarding new products. Right now we have a royalty rate adjustment update. So this is kind of like your Facebook home news feed, if that makes sense. You're going to see all the articles there. This is your store completion, and it will prompt you, for example, like I mentioned, you have to add a store logo and a banner, fill out your story, which is what your about page is. Then you create 10 products, 10 collections, 10 share products, share 10 collections, and then upload media. This store completion doesn't need to be 100% complete before you start selling. Okay. There's no guarantee. Obviously, I can never make any income claims, but this is to help you along the way to start making your products. What I want to say though, too, is that Zazzle doesn't tell you to create your categories, and your categories are also very important. I'm not going to dive too deep into that organization because that is where the Profit by Design Academy coaching program comes in. But this is where your product section is, where you will see all your products that you have made. And once you scroll down here, you can see that we have something called all categories here. And right now I just have all products and featured products, and those are my categories. And your categories are to help organize the back end of your store. Okay. Collections, on the other hand, which are these things here, which you're going to be making to promote your products and have them in groupings. Your categories are very important for you to organize the back end of your store. So all you need to do there is to go and click on all categories here. And then here you would add a new category. And maybe we want to say, first of all, weddings. And that's going to be our first category. And then that category will now show up underneath this category here. And so now I can, when I post my products for sale, I'll show you in a minute, this category will show up and I can post a product for sale in that category. Okay. So now we're going to dive into just now quickly creating a product. So because we've now defined that we are pretty prints and we've created, a wedding category, I'm going to showcase to you. I'm not going to create a wedding invitation with you because that takes quite a bit of time. And that's a lot more in-depth training than we can do here on this free session. But I clicked on the create your own, and then I clicked on weddings, invitations. And then I clicked on this invitation. Okay. It's not even an invitation. It's a postcard. That's not fine. Let's just see, search wedding invitation here. So you can see too that the Zazzle platform, this is a much more in-depth learning, but especially with invitations, there are different invitations that are associated with different things. So I searched wedding invitation in the search bar, and now you can see create your own weddings, invitations is stationary, wedding invitation. So you can now be guaranteed that these products that you're about to post for sale are considered the wedding invitation rather than a flat holiday card invitation. And that is a little bit more advanced of training than we're going to go into. Now I've grabbed the actual wedding invitation that I want to, right? And now you can see that I have the opportunity to go in and click add my design. I can click a different size if I want to, but the normal one is obviously 5x7, but here you can choose any just different dimensions. We can change the, if we have any envelopes associated with this design or not. You can also choose this style and the shape. Okay, there's a new arch invitation that's come out recently, which is quite cool. Here you can then change the paper type. And I'm choosing this as an invitation, but with any other product, the same sort of format is set up where you're able to choose different sizes and different either materials that are associated with it or different accessories, etc. Whether that be a pillow, you can change the different sizes. Whether that be a notebook, you can actually change the ring binder thing, or the spiral notebook. The spiral can be changed a different color. So there's a whole bunch of things that you can look at here and pick out first before you start designing even, and then that's going to be your template that you can use. Right? So now when I go in and I say add my design, my formatting is that I'm going to be printing on craft paper. Okay. If I, for whatever reason, start designing it and realize, oh, I actually don't want the craft paper anymore, all you need to do is go and click the word done, and then go back here to the original product page and then change it back to what it was previously, and then go back and say add my design. Even if I had something on the design already, right? If I already had text or an image, I could always go back and change the formatting of what the paper product type looks like and then post for sale. Okay. So this is the design tool, and it defaults to obviously the uploads. You can upload your own media and have any sort of graphics or images here. Then you can add text. By adding text, let's just say the word wedding. When I do that, this menu comes up on the right hand side, and this is where you can play around with any of the font choices. Zazzle has the licenses to all of these fonts, and thankfully they've also categorized them too. So if I want to now have a script and calligraphy font, then I can click on that, and I can click on this font here. Once I do that, then I can change what I've written. Maybe I don't want the word wedding. Maybe I want the word weddings. Then I can change the color. I can do my own color choice, custom color picker here. What's kind of neat too is that if you, for example, let's put a graphic in just randomly. If I have a graphic or an image of something and I want to actually color match from that graphic, I can go down to color and I can grab the color picker tool, and then I can actually choose the color that I want associated with the image. Okay. I can change the size, the justification. This was kind of neat. They have a stroke actually, which allows you to add another color on top of that. So if you wanted to do some sort of cool, some sort of graphic formatting there, it can make it look a lot different than the original text just by having it that one color. There's also the drop shadow that's available too, which is quite neat. Okay, and then line spacing, letter spacing. I'm not going to get into what the templates are and like walk through the templates with you, sorry, because that's what we cover in the Profit by Design Academy coaching program. But if you wanted to have this be personalized so that people can change this text box, then you would click this button here so that people can edit that on the product page when you post it for sale. Okay. Then going forward, these are the elements that you can choose. There's squares, rounded square, circle, rectangle, triangle, the line. You can also add a QR code. All of these are able for you to use so that you can add to your design in a certain way. You can change the fill color and also the border color here. All right. When we add an image as well, like I did, there's an opportunity to crop the image. What you can do is inside crop here, which is keeping the same frame. You can also then drag and drop. So for example, if I wanted that to be cropped there, then I can do that. If I say, oh shoot, I didn't want to actually do that, all I need to do is just go back to the crop and redo it, make it the original size of the photo and put it back to where it was, okay? I can also then put filters on here. There's some random filters. Just know that once you add a filter here, it will stick with that. Even if you add the filter, for example, on a template photo, I make it black and white, then the person who's changing their photo in your template will have it be black and white. This is kind of a neat one. You can remove all the the white in an image if you wanted it to be, see-through, like a PNG type thing. Okay, so there's a whole bunch of things that you can do here as well. Once you also have an image, there's an option for you to do tiling. If we wanted to make a pattern here, create it in different ways, different formats. So it's really robust in terms of the way that you can use this design tool. If you don't have any images or graphics that you want to use or even can use right now, you can create an amazing product with just fonts and text-based fonts, okay? So you could create a minimalistic wedding invitation by adding more text, right? You can add as many text boxes as you want, example, and make the format of your wedding invitation and then post it for sale, okay? This is where we can choose the orientation as well. So if all of a sudden I wanted to make my invitation horizontal, like a landscape version, then I can click that here. If you have a product that has two things, one on the two sides, sorry, one on the back and one on the front, you would think that this orientation, you said, okay, well, I made it horizontal on the front, so it should be horizontal on the back. Well, unfortunately, it doesn't, for whatever reason, work out that way. So make sure that you make that orientation on the back as well. So both of them are situated to be horizontal rather than the vertical. Last but not least, this is where you can add a background color. So for example, if I wanted to add a black background here, then I can have that as the background color. And people, if they know how to go into the design tool as a customer, they can go in and change that. But usually customers most likely will buy what you create. So you have to make sure that your templates are working properly and that also your design is really nice and works effectively for you. Okay. I know that this is obviously not the most prettiest wedding invitation. It's not anything. It's never going to sell, but we're going to pretend that it's, done. We've done our research. We've done our titles and we've done our templates. And now we're going to go in and we're going to sell this design. So we're going to go in and it's going to ask me, well, we have an empty area on the back. I say, perfect. I want to publish as is. Then we are going to put in a title. This is where you're going to do your research for your specific product. So unfortunately here online, I also can't tell you which title to put in for your own personal product because each product is different. But for mine, I would, because it's a black, let's say black and pink script. And then I'm going to click off the title box here and it's going to automatically put in the word invitation, okay? And because it is a wedding invitation, I want to put in the word wedding as well. So then now it's going to populate that. And it already knows based on my product choice and also my title that now the department on Zazzle for their own, marketing and algorithm that it should be underneath one of these two things. So I'm going to click weddings because it's clearly a wedding invitation. Here is where you're going to put a description in, pink and black, script, wedding invitation. Obviously, this is where you would put in a lot more information based on the theme, the style, if there's matching products, all of that stuff. Be very descriptive. Use your descriptive words here based on what product you've chosen to make. Here, you're going to click the events and occasions. Because I have it being part of an occasion, I'm going to click on occasions and then weddings and engagement and then wedding. And then we have the invitations here. Okay, so some of these department trees are like, 4 levels down. Other ones aren't so much. Let's say I had just a random everyday event type of thing, like it's maybe a yoga mat or an accessory or a mug or something like that. Then you could put it in everyday events or just look at just go out. I would say go in and explore what types of things that are here. right? New baby, it only has one. Pregnancy only has one. Baby shower. Birthdays. I know that birthdays, for example, they have all for all from the group over the hill. Sweet 16, it's his own birthday. There was one for 50 and fabulous at one point. Family, grandparents. Let's see, for the group, funny over the hill, romantic, work related, best friends by year. So let's say for 50th, let's say, for example, because I know that we do this for our, they did have a 50 and fabulous at one point. Well, either way, I would go in and explore all of the different types of department trees. So this allows you to be situated where you need to be in the Zazzle marketplace. Then the recipient, if it's specific for someone, let's say if it's like for a male or a female or for a pet or for whatever, then you can click on all of these things here. So for the bride, for the bridesmaids, most of the time I like to put in anyone because, for example, anyone could be buying my wedding invitation for the person, but I can say for the bride. If it was for her, for the bride, it might also be specific for a gift for the bride. So just think about who you would like your recipient to be. This is more so for when Zazzle's doing marketing on their website, like, you know, when they say like 50 gifts under $50 for him, whatever that is, right? They're doing marketing so they know that this product is specifically for a specific person. This is now where I get to choose my category, right? And so I say change. And because I set up that weddings category, it's defaulted to the weddings category. And I don't actually have any other categories available. So now I can click weddings and I can click that. If all of a sudden you get to this point in time and you're like, well, actually, I created a product that I don't have a category for, you can click new and you can either say select underneath the category. So I can create another category underneath this weddings category, which will be a subcategory over here. Or I can click another one here and I can just say home decor. And this will be now my second category that's available in my store. All right, so you can actually create categories here, which is a huge, amazing upgrade because when Elke and I first started out on Zazzle, that was not available. And I made so many products and I all of a sudden realized I needed to have a category and I had to post the product for sale in a random category and then go back into my back end in my store and change the product, where the product was, make a new category and then change the category. So this is very useful. Okay. And then this is where if you start to create collections, you can select a collection that you want this product to be featured in. Here, you're going to be putting in your titles and tags, your tags. This is where you're going to be describing your product. So the theme, wedding, for example, definitely. And then anything to do with color, the feel, the theme, the look of it. Okay. And you have 10 tags that you can use. So you can use one word tags, or you can do long term black and pink, long tail keywords, which means that you have more words than just one in your tag, but you have to include them in quotation marks. Okay. So then now we have 2 words in this one tag. And you can see that we have 500 characters that we can use. All right. And so I would say then minimalistic, then script, then maybe we say, hot pink. Well, and then we also say don't use words over and over again. So if you had the word pink in here, putting this tag in hot pink actually would not really be serving me as much because I already have the word pink in there. Okay. And so you use all 10 tags of them. Obviously, it depends on really a lot what your product looks like. We advise not to spam. So for example, I don't want you to put in the word Mother's Day, Father's Day, birthday, graduation, because you think that this product could be applicable to all of those things. I don't want you to do that because that's spamming. And then the next thing is that don't put the product type in. So we don't need the word invitation in, okay? It's not necessary because that's already part of the initial SEO that Zazzle's already done already. Okay, so whatever your product looks like, color, theme, the purpose of the product, who it's for, right? All those things will go into these tags here. We recommend that you put it at G because if you have any other audience here, then it actually doesn't show up in the search results. Of course, if you have like profanity or, swear words or like swear humor, then you should be in the other sections. But if you're just posting, a normal G-rated product, then say G. Product visibility is that everyone can see it. We want everyone to see this product. Hidden means that only you can see it. Direct only means that you have this is going to be sent to somebody because it's like a custom product. So the majority of your products that you're posting, for sale are going to be a public product. And then we do want you to have the show the customize it button. If you said no, then all of a sudden everyone who saw this product would have to buy this product as is. I didn't set up the templates obviously because that's more advanced. But if you have your template set up, then you have this customize button and then people can customize it. And also that means that they can go into the design tool. If it says don't show the customize it button, then then they just have to buy that product as is. Okay. They're not able to change anything. All right. Then this is where you set your royalty. There are these updates that have come out and are taking effect April 1st. Unfortunately, we can't really touch on those because they're still a little bit unclear of what the actual update is. But what we do have as information that's solid is that anything above 10% will be charged like a clawback fee or some sort of fee. Since we've been coaches since 2017 on Zazzle, we've always said set your royalty at 10% because this is what keeps you competitive with the marketplace. You could technically set your royalty to 14.99% before, and you would receive more money, and you would not get a fee. But then, did it even update there? It didn't. Oh yeah. But then I set it at 15, right? And then it says a 2-cent transaction fee. We set it up at 16, right? Then we get 18. 18%, right? So you can see that once I go higher, then the percentage changes. Plus, once you go higher as well, the price of the product changes too. So you want to keep it competitive at 10%. And that way you don't have any fees associated with it. And you're also competitive. Okay. And then you would like to have some products because we did choose an invitation. So this is a cool example for you, is that you're able to have this as an instant download as well. So people who don't want to buy a physical product but want the downloadable, you're able to post this for sale as an instant download. Okay. And so if you enable this product as an instant download, I would keep this royalty as is. It's preset by Zazzle. There isn't a transaction fee actually now that's associated with it, which is interesting. So I don't know what the original, let's see if it, when the fee stops, is it 70? Maybe not 60, 50, maybe. So there's still a fee. And maybe this is part of the new updates too, because on Zazzle, the original one was like at 96%, which you saw, or 90% previously. And so that's what it was set at. And I guess it's higher.
Look at how small the transaction fee is.
Yeah.
So I think that, like, if anyone's watching this and they're more advanced and they understand what the heck this means rather than a brand new beginner, it really is irrelevant unless you're selling thousands and thousands and thousands of invitations, and it's still so much more reasonable than paying for Facebook ads to try to get, or Etsy ads to try to get somebody to see your listing on Etsy. So yeah. And one of the other things I wanted to say is this is now added here as the posting option, but once you've posted it, you cannot go back to enable it, I don't believe. And it also means that you have to be on the right paper type. So if some of you are saying, hey, I made this invitation a long time ago, but it's not on the right card stock, just like Jen said at the beginning, you've got to get to the right card paper type, even though it's all digital, then you won't have that option to have the download. So make sure that you understand that you're using the right product to start with. And then also, this might be your only time that you can really set that. I can't remember if you can do it in the
I don't know.
After. Again, new feature that it's right here rather than it being an edit after, because at one point when they implemented it, they just gave us the granted edit option for when you use that particular paper type. but now you've got an option because not everybody wanted a digital download, even
Yeah.
though it's the best thing going because it's so lucrative and it's been really, really good for our earnings over the years. So, okay.
Mhm. Yeah. And yeah, so as like I said, I don't know if you can, if you were to say disable and then post for sale, that's what you meant, right? You don't know if you can enable it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would enable it anyway. I mean, unless you have something completely against people digitally downloading your product, but there's agreements that are put in place from the customer side and Zazzle side saying that they can't resell this. It's just for personal use as well. So up to you, very much so. But it does allow you to expand your possibilities for selling because, like I mentioned, some people might not want the physical invitation and might want to print it out themselves. And so this is a very lucrative opportunity for you as well to earn money. The next thing is that you check this box. Obviously, you have to read the agreement. You can't post a product for sale that is copying somebody. You can't post a product for sale that is that's got artwork that you're not allowed to sell, right? And copying someone, like imagine I posted this for sale exactly as this is, and then it started selling. And then someone comes and looks at it and says, "Oh, I'm going to make the exact same product because it's super easy because it's just text on Zazzle," right? If you copied me exactly the same as this, then that would actually be a violation of copyright, even though I didn't like create the graphic, but I created the design initially. So any product that you post for sale on Zazzle, if it's uniquely yours, that's like copyright stamp saying that you own that property, right? So you have to be, first of all, cautious to not copy other people, but then also see that if somebody else has started to decide to copy you, then that's your own artwork, right? I created this image, even though for the tutorial, this one here, it looks really silly. Like it's not something that's going to sell, I'm pretty sure. But if someone decided that this started to sell and copied it exactly, then that's not okay. And then using artwork or anything that's like taken from the internet that's not yours, we're not going to dive into AI because I have always since the beginning said stay away as much as you can from AI in terms of selling products because AI actually isn't like your stuff. It's all just content that's generated from other people's content on the internet. And so if you can stay away from AI generated images for your products, then that would be really great. That being said, you can use AI if you want for your mock-ups. Then we're going to click on post. And then it says, congratulations. A lot of people say to me, well, oh my goodness, I don't see my product in my store yet. Where is it? Well, right here, the first sentence says it can take up to 24 hours to show up in search results and also even in your store. It is there. The link exists, right? We can email it. You can copy and paste it. You can go to your store. I always like to click down and say, go to see my product because not only do I get to see what it looks like, but second of all, then this adds as a view on one of my products. So views actually really do help your product be seen in the marketplace. Okay, so now I have my product here. I can scroll down. I can see that, this is now, it's posted for sale. It's effective in the marketplace. I've got other designs I might like. If, for example, I wanted to go in and change things. So let's say I wanted to,
Before, yeah,
there, you
even
can
before.
enable it.
Oh, good. Okay, that's good. So that's how you can do it. I always use this as a way to double check to make sure everything that I posted actually makes sense,
Yeah.
or yeah, yeah,
And because I didn't do any templates, because I didn't know if that was too much information diving in. But like,
yeah.
for example, if I did make templates here, there would be a button here that says personalize this design, underneath edit this design, and it would be a drop down menu that said, okay, I have the word wedding, I have the word example, I can change those, and I can make sure that my templates are working for me, so that this looks good. Because a lot of the time people mistake things and they don't create their templates properly, or something doesn't look good and they just post their product for sale, and then all of a sudden they don't realize that it's not selling because of a specific reason, right? And so this is why we go onto the product page to see if everything looks good and is working. Here you can also change. So let's say you wanted to add media to this product because you want a cover photo. This is where you can easily do so. This is also where you can edit the details. So let's say I needed to change my title for whatever reason, or I needed to change where it's in on Zazzle, or my own category. Let's say I decided, because right now it's in home decor, and I say, oops, I didn't want it to be in a home decor. It actually needs to be in weddings. So then that's where I'm going to go and change that. You can also change your tags here too. So let's say I realize that I need another tag, because I forgot it. I can add the tag and then I can say done. And now that product is updated. Okay. And then last but not least, before we kind of wrap up this tutorial, I want to go back to my store, because we posted our product for sale. Now we can see this. We go back to my store here. We go to my products, and now you can see that my product is in my store. And so once it starts to get views or sales in the back end here, this is where I can see all the information associated with this. And then also now, for example, just because I'm showing you sort of the organization of your store, if I clicked on the home decor category, I don't have anything in there. But then when I click on the weddings category, I should have it in there. It takes some time, I guess, sometimes too, because it's a new product. So never mind. But it should be underneath the weddings category. If I open that up, it should be right there. You can always just go back to your main product page here by clicking on that.
Probably if you posted it properly to start with, but since you made it as an edit, it's going to take.
That's true. Yeah.
All right. Well, that brings us to an hour. Well, fantastic. Thank you so much for doing this. You did mention something about you had something else to.
Yeah. So we're just going to quickly go into, that brings us to an hour. Just give me 1 second. We have a really amazing deal for you right now for our Profit by Design Academy coaching program. And just give me 1 sec here.
And in the meantime, just write in the chat if you thought this was helpful and if you learned a lot. And also, do you want any other help? Because as you can see, it's easy, but there's a lot. And then this is just the day-to-day, functioning of posting a product. But you can post thousands of product and not make a sale whatsoever. And that's what Jen and I learned when we first started out. It was like we were actively making products for a whole year. And we never knew that was not all that was necessary. So it took us a while to figure out what to do. And this is way back in 2008. And then by the time 2009 and 2010 rolled around, I pretty much worked out the system for Zazzle and started making 5 figures consistently as earnings, not sales, earnings, and then made 6 figures very quickly and consistently did that for years and years and years. And so this is what the strategies that I used and then I taught Jen are in the Profit by Design Academy, which is the framework, the proven framework that's worked consistently for not only us throughout all these years on print on demand, but also for our clients. We've helped thousands of clients, hundreds in our program. And that's why I want to say the word hundreds, because technically it's interesting because our clients are mighty, small and mighty. We haven't helped a lot. We've helped, I think, about 700 people altogether, but combined, all of those people, and we only know about 300 worth of people's earnings, 665 million in sales and 16.5 million in earnings for about 300 people combined. Isn't that amazing? And that's over 7 years of coaching. And so that's really nice to see that this framework works for others, not just for Jen and I. And that gives you confidence to be in a position to say, hey, I know Jen and Elke are just dropping an offer in here at the end of this training, and they just showed me everything. So what the heck? But it's not the case. There's so much more to do in terms of taking this from just having a store open and throwing products up to literally running a business and making it profitable to a 6-figure type income, which is what Zazzle pays you out, not what you sell. Okay. So I'll just let Jennifer keep going from there, but just wanted to make the transition for you. And so excited to see that even out of last year in 2024, our clients made 9.4 million that Zazzle paid them out. And again, It's really only about half of the clients that we are helping that we know about, because a lot of people keep their numbers private. But that in itself is amazing, because divide 9.4 into 300 people, and that's a nice little average, right? Not that everyone's making the same amount, but it ranges, obviously. But we're creating a force on Zazzle, and we're also, making opportunities for ourselves. The better everyone gets on Zazzle, the more people are coming to buy, the better the competition, which means that even though people think that means they can't sell, it actually makes it even more easier to sell, because you're leveling up. You're actually providing stuff that people want, not just weird clip art or old vintage prints that are now out of copyright. And that's not sustainable. Sometimes it's nice because you really do you hit a certain customer, but there's so much more opportunity out there, and we've created that opportunity for all of our clients, and we want you to feel like that's an opportunity for you as well.
Mm-hmm. So the Profit by Design Academy coaching program is what we are offering with our framework, and that's the 5 strategies that we teach our clients. We have recorded material for those 5 modules, and then we also, in addition to that, have our coaching program aspect to it, which includes our weekly call with myself and Elke in our group setting, and then also access to our community. And if you have been part of our community lately or previously, you've probably heard us talk about our 12-month coaching program, which has been a year-long coaching program. This year, we are changing it to end at the end of this year in December, and it's an 8-month coaching program. And actually, this is the last time that we are offering this coaching program for you to get in 2020.
8 months, yeah,
At 8 months in 2020.
What we really wanted to do was, address 2 things. By reducing the number of months, we were able to give you a better offer price, which everyone wanted in this economic time, to still be able to get access to this really amazing training. And yet, with the economy, some people aren't able to afford it. But what we also wanted to do is just get people selling faster. And so this 8-month cohort is packed solid with additional 36 extra hours of coaching. But by reducing the number of months and just putting that coaching into a shorter time period, you're actually getting more coaching and more hands-on reviews and experiences with us, even in an 8-month period, so that you can get started selling faster. Because that's what we want. We want you to get results quicker. And we've tested this. We've tried it out. Everyone loves the program. So we're releasing it now just to get this as an 8-month cohort, so that you can start selling faster, which is amazing. And we can offer this at a much reduced price compared to what our 12-month coaching program is all about.
Mm-hmm.
So excited about this. Okay.
The second part of this package that you'll be receiving is our Boost Bootcamp, which we're starting on March 31st. And it's a 3-week daily guidance walkthrough and initiation with training and homework, in addition to the modules and the coaching program. And this is going to be happening in April and also in September of this year. So you get 2 Boost boot camps. Then you get access to 2 sales planning workshops. We recorded one already in January of 2025. So you'll be receiving the replay of that to help with your sales plan for 2025. And then we will be also doing a live event in November this year to help you with your sales planning for 2026. And then our last bonus here is our Trio promo package, which is everything that you need to promote and sell with done for you templates and keywords. All of that costs $4,476, but today we're going to give it to you for $1,997, and or a payment plan, which is an 8-month payment plan of $288 per month. And plus, I didn't tell Elke this, but I'm going to offer this as well. There's the exclusive live bonus offer. So if you're here live with us, I know we are streaming to YouTube and to Facebook. So once this live video is done, then this is no longer available, okay, because it's a live bonus. But you get a 1-hour private coaching call with myself and Elke, which has the cost of $1,000. people who want to come into our one-on-one private coaching spend $1,000 to spend an hour with us on Zoom. And you will be receiving that 1 hour for free with us. And you may be thinking, well, I don't know what to ask. I don't need that coaching call, right?
As a digital bonus, it's not really free. We have to spend the hour with you. Yeah. But yeah, go ahead. Yeah. I kind of like make sure, yeah, it's really important that everyone understands this. There are like almost 20 people paying $1,000 an hour right now in our one-on-one coaching program. And so you get this as a bonus, and it's like half the course cost right now. So if, yeah, and people love the one-on-one coaching. Even if you're brandy new, you are getting so much value because it helps you make some decisions, and it gives you a way to move forward so that you get to feel more confident and clear about what it is that you're going to do first, and where should you start, and what should you pick, and so on. And people feel a lot happier after they're done. Even if you're an absolute beginner, you're going to get so much benefit from this one-on-one coaching. So yeah, keep going.
We have a question here. So Denise says, I just started, because we have a starter kit too. I just started on this POD starter kit. I wish I would have seen the PDA first. I'm also brand new, so it's a bit daunting for me too. Well, Denise, if you are able to commit to this price, we can speak about actually returning your money and having you come into the coaching program, if that's something that...
I would say at this point that offer went out the window with our calls in 2024, and because our price is really reduced here. And what's really important, because we have quite a few people in the starter kit, so I just want to say this, I'm contradicting Jen, but she's already giving away a lot of bonuses already. But the key here is that we'll give it to Denise, but for anyone else, understand that when Denise bought the starter kit, she got a basic setup already, and that course she keeps for lifetime access. Whereas this here is a more advanced course that you only get access to until the end of December. That's why we cut the price down this much. Otherwise, it would be higher. So Denise, you can keep that, but then when you come into the 1997 Profit by Design Academy coaching program, you're getting a more broadened course, and you're getting a ton of coaching, all just for under $2,000. So that's really important. So yeah, because we offered it, Jen's being generous, we'll give it to you, but everyone else, it really means that you get to keep that self-study course as reference even past the end of the coaching cohort. But then this is our coaching cohort where we're giving you an incredible amount of access to coaching for a very low price of $1,997. Okay.
Yeah. I just told Denise that she can email us and we can speak afterwards. So, but
Yeah.
yes.
But we'd love to have you, but I just want to make sure that people are very clear on that, because we've been giving people upgrades, but only when they ended up paying very higher prices for the same program. And so those people would be all very, very upset if we did that for everybody. Okay.
Okay. And if there's any other questions, but yes, this is the end of our presentation, and we'll hang out here. We'll spend a couple minutes for Q&A because we still have some people on. Most people ask when the calls are. The calls are on Wednesdays, and I would say about midday, depending on the day that I was, depending on the day that the call is on, it starts at maybe 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have calls at 12 p.m. Eastern and also at 1 p.m. So it's that midday range, depending on the day. The calls are recorded, and you are able to ask your questions before the call. And so, for example, if you're not able to join on the live call, then your question will still be answered if we can answer it on the live call. If we end up going overtime and some questions aren't answered, then actually myself and Elke go in and we do a recording after our live call and give you a recording of the answered questions afterwards. Okay. And then in terms of the time commitment, because a lot of people think, how much time do I need to commit to doing the course and how long does it take? Well, Elke and I, we structured it for the 8-month program now, because we know that you can get the course done in 8 months. Obviously, you do need to commit for a couple hours every week to commit to the recorded module material and go through. The one thing that I want to say though is that people think that they have to finish the entire course before they actually start posting products for sale and getting the work done. But it's supposed to be, it's a course that's made for you to work through it with it and actually work through building your store while you're taking the course, right?
Yeah. And I think very clearly, if you did every single lesson and implemented everything from start to finish, which you don't have to do right off the bat, it would take you about 2 to 3 months of like a couple hours a week to do it, right? So, but it depends on if you want to blitz through it quickly or not. The most important thing is that this Boost Bootcamp, that's your bonus, is actually taking you through getting you started quicker, because we're giving you feedback, and we're also telling you, check out this lesson out of this module. This will help you get this done. And all of these things are going to get you started quicker so that you can get into this sort of routine of starting to create the number of products that you need to make per month in order to start getting a better and better chance of actually selling. One of the things that we've come with all the coaching we've done, it's very clear that 10% is about the average of what people have as an ability to create a product that'll start selling. So we recommend doing 100 products per month, and 10 of those might sell. But when you get better, because that's why the coaching programs are all there, in terms of the weekly coaching calls, we help you a lot with designing, giving you feedback. You give us your link to your product, and then we tell you, fix this, add this, do this. And this is not to make you feel bad. It's for you to say, oh, this is what it takes in order to make a product that sells, right? We want to continue to make you competitive. And what's happened over the last 7 years that we've done this, our clients are now selling consistently that do that work and take advantage of that extra coaching. That's why we really love doing this coaching call type PDA experience, because if you go in, if you go to the Zazzle, any landing page, 50% or more of the clients, or like the products that are there, are all clients of our past training, which this is what this is. And so your skill sets are not a matter of what we just showed you here of opening your store. Their skill sets have to be built up for how you make the products to get better and better, so that you don't have to make 100 products to start even selling 10. And then that doesn't even include the fact that you have to start getting better at making bestsellers, because that's the key to success at 5 and 6 figures on the Zazzle platform. And that's what's happening to our clients. We obviously can never make any income claims, but this is the really amazing connect. Like, Denise is in the POD starter kit. That's a self-study course. There's no accountability. There's no checking your products to see how you're doing, giving you feedback as to whether or not this could, just a small tweak here or there could change it from being a product that never sells to something that sells once a week or twice a week or each day. And because of that, we are like feeling so strongly that a lot of people give up on Zazzle before they should. And then even people who are on the Zazzle platform and they're happy with a couple of sales a week or $1,000 a month, and they think, wow, that's amazing. Our top earners are making $18,000 to $20,000 in payout on Zazzle every single month. Now, that's not just people from the Profit by Design Academy. They do one-on-one coaching. They also have been in our mastermind. They've been with us more than 8 months. So I'm never going to say that you're at the end of 8 months, you're going to be rolling in the dough. But they started here. They started in this program. They figured out their design skill sets, what level they were at. They got better and honed their skills so that now when I tell Brandon, Susan, Gree, who else? Christine, all the people that we're allowed to talk about. And there's a ton of people that asked for privacy, but there's a lot of other people that are doing just as well as all the people we talk about all the time. And all we need to do is say, this is trending, go set up the system. And then they put all that together, and they can get bestsellers within a couple of months, because they've done it right. They do everything that we teach in the Profit by Design Academy, and they do it on steroids, because obviously the Profit by Design Academy is the beginning program, And then we have one-on-one coaching and masterminds to get you to those higher earning months. So we're so super excited. And it's always just really a matter of you believing that this is going to be the thing that works for you to get you to where you want to go on the Zazzle platform. Okay. Anything else do I have to say, or did I just sort of give a nice...
No, I just don't know if Denise is still on. She says, no, I was just thinking about the time, not the cost. So I don't know what that means. Considering it. Thank you. I'm considering it. Yes, the time, not the cost. So being like the timing, because if you just started the POD starter kit, to be honest, the starter kit actually is included in the print in the PDA, right? It's just this first
a little bit of it.
Just the first strategy, right? Yeah. And so in the PDA, you'll get everything. Oh, by trying to do both at once. Yes. No. So you would only have to do the...
Yeah. So yeah, you're not overlapping or having to do two different things. You literally just come right into the Profit by Design Academy. You're going to have the POD starter kit as sort of a reference and guide for after, like in 2026, when you're not in this program anymore. Unless you want to stay in this program, because that'd be lovely, because we can keep helping you. We have people in this program that are absolute beginners and all the way to diamond sellers, because they love this program so much because of the coaching, right? There's a course component, and then there's also a coaching component. And a lot of people stay not only to repeat the course because they learn more about what they missed the first time and the second time and the third time, because it's so compact. It's like an MBA for Zazzle. And I don't know if people don't understand what MBA is. It's like a business strategy for Zazzle that's consistently worked for people who've implemented it. But a lot of people, when they first go through the training once, they don't get all of the information because there's a lot, right? And you can only handle so much. So every year, people come back into the Profit by Design Academy because even though the course gets updated with whatever changes get made on Zazzle, the 5 strategies and how you implement them are always there. And so Denise, on the POD starter kit, you have strategy number 1 and a little bit of extra bonus to help you with some promotion, etc., and how to make a few products. But when you get into the Profit by Design Academy, you're going to recognize a few of the basic core pieces of training, but the rest of it is going to help you be more in depth and actually give you everything you need in order to start, grow, and scale. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if Denise, you are able to come into the PDA coaching program, then we would highly recommend that you do so. Not that you're just taking the starter kit first and then moving forward, or doing both at once, because the PDA coaching program is what you need. We created the starter kit for people who didn't want the whole thing all at once, and also maybe couldn't financially commit. But now that we've cut the prices so much, like the PDA is what everyone should be taking.
Yeah. And also, because of this Boost Bootcamp, you're going to get through your the training that you think you have to get through on your own in the POD starter kit. You're basically going to get a walkthrough in the next 3 weeks in April. You're going to be completely set up, and you're going to get that feedback so that you don't have to consider those things all on your own. And like you said initially, you said you're overwhelmed and confused. You won't be after the 3 weeks, because we're going to basically guide you through. And by the end of it, you're going to know what niche you're going to sell in, what kind of products you have to make, what is the avatar that you're serving. You're going to get a review of your store. And all of this is training that is, as Jen said, part of the actual course. So you always have that as a reference. And we're going to tell you, what you need to do, when you need to do it, and how it looks, and what updates and improvements you need to make. So you don't even have to start and be perfect to start with and then hope for the best. You're going to literally give us your best first shot. Then you're going to get feedback in this Boost Camp, and you're going to know exactly what level to take it to, so that there's so much thinking taken out of it, so much worry, so much frustration, and you're going to feel much more confident moving forward, so that you can start to get those products out there, right? Because that's probably one of the biggest things that you're worried about is, am I making the right kind of products? Are they at a level where I'm going to start to compete? Do I need to make enough? Like, do I need to make more than what I'm making? How many hours should I be spending doing this? And in the Profit by Design Academy, you're also getting a bunch of done for you templates, like Jen said, that extra bonus, which covers things like mock-ups and cover images for collections, and what kind of SEO like tags and titles do I need for this and this. It's just very much giving you what you need so that you don't have to figure it all out by yourself, and just get your store up and running, which means, as I said, start selling faster. We can't make any income claims, but we're putting it as everything that's worked for our clients in the past, we're giving to you at a lower price and at a quicker pace. Okay. So if you, and that's most important. Most of the work that you do for Zazzle takes a while to implement and to integrate into the system, so you can start seeing results. So if it takes you 3 months to do something that should take you a month, and then you actually would, if you do it in the Profit by Design Academy and you get it done in this first month, instead of doing it on your own in 3 months, you have 2 extra months to start selling. Does that make sense? Okay. And I hope everyone else is considering that as well, because we're here to, we're both, Jen and I are both people who can see how long it would take to execute something. And so this program, the Profit by Design Academy, is set up in such a way to make you be the most effective when you first start, so that you can see results quicker than if you did it on your own, because we're telling you what to do first that'll have the most impact, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. And so,
I think there's only a few people left, but Jen's been putting the link in the chat. We're doing our best to stay on live so that you can get the one-on-one bonus, but we have to take off now. It's almost been an hour and a half. If you haven't, this hasn't been enticing for you, ask yourself, why are you interested in Zazzle then, right? And so we have so many people that go like, okay, obviously you know what you're doing, Elke and Jen, so that's good. And I don't know what I'm doing. So, and I want this to work. I hear all those success stories. So why, like, I'm just going to jump in. And I think that's kind of what we meant by doing this training here, is because we really just want you not to think about it too much. If you have to, then it's not for you, right? Then don't worry about it. At some point next year, we'll offer this program again. Right now, we are closing doors March 31st, and we're going to take this cohort through for the whole year. And you can see we're committed. We're like, we're seriously, Zazzle maniacs. We love Zazzle. We love helping people do work really well on the Zazzle platform. And so you have to ask yourself, well, why didn't I get excited about this? What is it that's stopping me? Because obviously other people have just jumped on, and most of our top sellers have just jumped on because they're not considering so many of the worries. They're just going like, okay, proven plan, it works. I'm going to give it my best shot. There's still you could still fail. I can't say that you will succeed, but on the other hand, who else is going to help you move through that if you don't on your own? And for Denise, as I think she's a converted person, we'll see if we're giving her a one-on-one private coaching call or not. We'll have to look at our sales and see if she's decided. But one of the things that if you're looking at it as a price investment rather than what's in the future investment, then you've already lost, right? Sorry, like if you're basing it only on price and you're going like, well, I don't know for sure, then it's not because we're offering, like, this is the best ever coaching package that we've offered. People buy this course for $5,555 without batting an eye. And one of the things that we wanted to do was give a lot of people in this economy the chance to change their lives, because our lives changed dramatically. We haven't worked since 2008 because we've been on Zazzle all this time. And even with the courses here, we're very much, this is not one of these situations where Jen and Elke are making money off of you guys because we're selling you a course. We're just want you to be in the best position to create a business that will empower you and to give you that chance to change how you receive income and how you create income. And if that doesn't, none of this works for you, like the really great offer, the dollar amount, our reputation, our clients' successes from this particular program, then it's not a matter of you wanting to, like, it's actually an issue with whether or not you think you can do it, right? And we have to ask yourself, well, we want to ask you, and we would love to hear from you, what it is that's stopping you, right? Because maybe you don't think that you can do it, or you're giving yourself outside excuses. Oh, the market's saturated, or it's taking too long, or if it works for them, it might not work for me. All of those are outside looks at what might happen. But what about looking inside? What is it that's really stopping you from saying, gosh, I'm on this thing for an hour and a half, and yet I still haven't decided to just say, okay, like, let me in? Because as soon as you pay, you're in. You can watch the coaching call from this past week, which was amazing. We did a whole bunch of reviews for people who did home decor products. Jen spent a half an hour extra. I spent a half an hour extra, and it was it a 2-hour call, or was it a 1-hour call? So you have like 2 hours of full-on product reviews from all kinds of people that you can start to get inspired by, not copy, but inspired by. And then you have a mindset call, a strategy call, and another design call, all of which you can start diving into and looking and helping you work on understanding how this works in the in the people who are in the community that's doing well. And also then get ready for next week, because we start on March 31st. And if you're absolutely brand new, you will just be taken along, held by the hand, and you will be able to just go like, okay, Jen and Elke said do this, I'll do this. And then, like, that's the one thing that we get, and this is how we should end this, is we get so many people who, after just trusting and doing the work, one day they'll come along and post in the community and go like, I can't believe it worked. But it did, right? It worked. And it's because they put in the work, but they put in the right work. And the Profit by Design Academy literally the first module is a little bit about what we just did here for the first hour, is showed you how to open your store. But as I said before, that's not everything that you need in order to be on the Zazzle platform. Now we get to work. Now we pick where you're going to sell. And it's all individual. There's no specific answer for anybody. We've helped people be successful in the martial arts area, in the quilting area, in like watercolor artists, photographers, people who do surface pattern designs, people who have absolutely no creative ability in their tiny little bones. And no matter what it is, because you're following our 5-strategy framework, which is a business plan, you set yourself up right from the beginning to succeed if you do the work. Okay, so we're so excited to have you in there. Is there anything you want to say to finish this off? But otherwise, go to elkeclarke.com/start-and-scale and lock in this bonus in terms of the live bonus, and also the really, really amazing price, because it's going back up at the end of March 31st. It's not going to be this was a one-time ever. We're just trying something out because we wanted to do the very best that we could, considering that the one and only comment that everyone always said was, I can't afford it because the price is too high. So I cannot stress this enough. As of April 1st, and it's not an April Fool's joke, it goes back up to $5,555.
Alexander says, I'm really considering it. So we've got Denise and Alexandra. Well, if you're really considering it, obviously we can't stay on too much longer here, but we do want to obviously give everyone who commits to the opportunity to get the bonus if we're here on live. So if you're here on live and you say, I'm committing, just give me 5 minutes and I'll sign up, then we will honor the bonus. But we would love to have everyone in, Denise and Alexandra, whoever else is watching, because this is an amazing opportunity. And I think you don't even really know until you're in it what
Yeah.
you actually get, right? The 5 modules and the recorded material and all of the 5 strategies are what you need to know. But then the whole experience of being part of our community, being part of the weekly calls, like how exciting it is to be in this space with like-minded entrepreneurs, with people all around the world. Literally, we have clients from Australia, we have clients from the UK, from Asia, and have the opportunity to just interact with all of these people. Like Elke and I have created this amazing movement that people don't understand until they're a part of our Profit by Design Academy coaching program, I think. And we just want to like definitely welcome everyone in as much as possible, because this is the most amazing opportunity out there that we've ever offered in a really long time. Plus, because we've been coaches since 2017, like the 2025 cohort is the best cohort that we've created ever, because each year we are more advanced in terms of what we teach you, where it's more robust, we have more information to give you, and just support you more. So
Which actually, like, it shouldn't be an overwhelm there, because I just realized that maybe some people are going like, oh, more information. No, it actually means that it's easier because we cut to the chase quicker, right? Like, we're not actually like whatever someone, like the people that we talk about that are really successful, they actually got less help, less hands-on, less information. But as I said, like, yeah, we're literally helping you digest and get things done quicker and cut to the chase quicker than we've ever done before, because we need you to. Otherwise, if you want to just do this on your own, you're going to spend years doing it. That I can do. There are very few people that can do this all on their own and get to 5 and 6 figures within a very short time period. Okay, awesome. I think we've done the soapbox long enough. And thank you so much for being here, Alexandra and Denise. Please enroll in the next hour, and then we will still consider this live bonus. And anyone else as well, say that you're on, but you have to message us within the hour. Otherwise, if you're watching this tomorrow, you go like, I was on live. It's like, no, you weren't. And then we'll get you the live bonus as well. Okay. elkeclarke.com/start and scale. Thank you for spending so much time with us. We really appreciate your time and value it. And now take the next step. Don't think about it too hard. Just let's do this so that we can get started. And we're ready to go on March 31st, next Monday, with an amazing experience of a boot camp. Even our current clients that are in there are like already signed up, are just like chomping at the bit. They can't wait. It's exciting. And you'll be so thrilled and happy that you've accomplished so much in your store by the time we're done this 3-week boot camp. Okay. And that's just one of the bonuses. Then we just keep going for the rest of the year.
Okay, thank you so much for watching, and we will hopefully see at least Denise and Alexandra, because you are the two who spoke up in the Profit by Design Academy coaching program. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.